Today we're going to be removing the front bumper on my Tesla Model 3. For both sides, you're going to come into the wheel well, you're going to look forward because we're going to want to remove 3 clips. This one right here, we'll remove this one right here, and this one down here. If you have some trouble reaching in here, you can always go inside and turn your wheel so that this is tucked more in here to give you some more working room for this side, and then do the same thing on the other side. Once you get those 3 removed, you're gonna want to pull this back, and then we're going to look inside of here. Now you see this bracket? We want to actually look above it. Right there, you see those 2 bolts? There's actually 3 bolts. I'm missing one, but there should be one, and then that second one that's really far, and then there's a third one in between the 2. You might be able to see a hole where it should be, but again, it is missing. So we're gonna want to go ahead and remove these 3 bolts. So 1, 2, 3. I'll zoom out just so you can see where they are. They're really just right around the line right here. Once you remove those 3, let's look in here. So I'm gonna place you in. Don't get scared, y'all. Just be okay. There is another bolt right there at the very bottom. That one you're gonna want to also remove. Okay, I'm gonna try to shine this light in here. That bolt right there. That one, you're gonna want to undo that one. 4 total, each side again. By the way, after you remove those 3 bolts, you're gonna kind of pull down on this piece. You're just gonna come right out. So you can see where the 3 bolts will be going. One here, and one right here. This piece, just keep track of it. It's just gonna slot back in like this when you're done. We're gonna put it right here, and then the fender should basically just be wiggling around at that point. It's just held in by clips. Let's go ahead and remove this guy. The tools that are gonna help me with this operation are going to be this drill with a very long extended adapter. We're going to be using a 10mm socket on it, and then attached to it I have an extending bit. I have this piece, which is very flexible. Check this out, it just bends. And that allows me to get into that bottom bolt down there. And then of course we have the ratchet at the end. We're using a flashlight and a headlamp. And last one out. That's pretty much all the hardware removed. You can see this part is gonna be kind of droopy now. This whole part should be pretty loose. Reset, we're now on top of the car. We're gonna want to look underneath it. So disregard my dirty front bumper. Underneath here, there are these clips. Now, the reason why I'm removing my bumper is because it was put on the wrong way. These tabs right here are supposed to go under this plastic shield, but connecting them are these pins. So pin there should be one there, and there might be some more here. And then there's more on that side over there as well. So we're gonna want to go ahead and make sure all of those are unclipped, take all those out. We're gonna want to remove the frunk tub now. So there's going to be a bolt next to the wiper fluid here. There's going to be a bolt under here, a bolt under here. Underneath all of this, there's 2 bolts here, and then 2 bolts right here. And this is the cover that goes on here. You just are gonna pull it up and then out. There's just these clips that it goes in on. 7 bolts total, all 10mm, just like their other ones. Before you go ahead and take this out, just remember that there are these little clips on the edges that it rests on, like right here is a good example. And there's tabs that go in these holes here, right here, that are in the frunk. Also be aware that there's a plug you're gonna want to remove for the frunk light right there. Watch out for that guy. Next step will be to remove all the bolts right here. There's going to be 3 here, 3 here. When you slide your new bumper back in, you're gonna wanna pay attention to a few important parts. First, this part up here, you're gonna want to push it up in here. You're gonna want to use this as kind of a slider for how much panel gap you're gonna have right here. You don't want them too close, because if you have any vibrations, they're just gonna be rubbing up against each other, so you want a little bit of a gap. Same thing on this side. There's just these tabs that they push into. Tabs coming off the fender, these push into. And then you could put 2 bolts right here just to secure it in, because now we're gonna go underneath. But first to the side, you know, remember that bolt that was in the bottom right here? Make sure that bolt that is coming out of this tray right here goes into its supposed hole. Yep, you wanna make sure that fits in nice and solid. We're gonna really pay attention to the bottom now, because this part is really important. If you don't get this right, it's really gonna suck. So let's look under the car really quickly. You know, these holes with the clips, you're gonna wanna line these up and put it in. This whole piece has to go into this piece. There's gonna be little tabs, but it should look flush just like this. Make sure it looks flush, seriously. Flush all the way through, and then use these clips to put it back in. You might have to use some force because the panels might be a little bit separated, like this one's not going in easy, so just take your time. Once you got all the clips situated, you can come to these sides now, and we're gonna do the little brackets and the clips and the bolts and the nut. Let's take a second and talk about this. So the left-hand side and the right-hand side are each gonna be labeled. The LH or the RH is going to be pointing towards each other like that way. So when we mount this, it's gonna be like this, okay? You have these 2 tabs, and these tabs we're gonna want to push in right here, and then we're gonna hand tighten a bolt into each of the holes, and then we can go with the drill. This might fall out, just have patience, have small hands, maybe twist the wheel that way, but since I got tiny wrists, we good. Also, side note, bro, that looks sick. And I have like the fake fog lamp, so there's not really a light in here. If I could put some LEDs in here, like myself, that would be pretty wicked, man. Pro tip, when you are bolting this in, push it up from the bottom. That way you ensure there is no gap when you're doing the last nut. So you're not bolting it in, I guess you're nutting it in. Because you can bolt a bolt in, right? So you can nut and nut in. I mean, I don't know what else you would say, right? You're bolting in a bolt, so you'd be nutting in a nut. I'm gonna stop talking. And now you're pretty much done. Your bumper's back on. If you have any other Tesla questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more cool Tesla stuff, because we've been doing a lot to this guy and other ones too. Got a lot of other Teslas that we feature on the channel. Make sure to subscribe. Pick out any of the cool stuff that you've seen in this video in any links in the description below. If they're not there, just ask. I hope to see you all in future videos. Later, have a great day.